The music got to the worst part just as I started streaming. Damn it. Alright. Woohoo! We are live. Let me pull up the chat. Nice little Christmas Eve stream. You know how it is. Got my nice Christmas shirt on. Hello, nobody. How are we doing? How are we doing? Just accidentally got water on my phone. Alright, chat is up. Let me tweet and post about this. God, I'm getting water everywhere now. How are we doing this fine December 24th? We are. Hello, BJ. It's been a minute since I've caught you in one of my streams. How we doing, man? How we doing? Forgot to turn this off. No battery mode. Alright, just gonna post these real quick. Bit of a weird stream today. It's on Christmas Eve. Even more theories. Okay. Oops, that's TikTok. I don't want to open that. How are we doing, guys? How are we doing? Yeah, so I didn't intend to stream today because it's, you know, Christmas Eve. But hey, Christmas miracle and all that. Yeah. It's good to see you guys. Thanks for showing up. I'm a little worried that we might get less people today just because it's Christmas Eve, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll do it anyway. Alright, well, I don't want to waste any more time because we still have a lot of theories to get to. So, I'm going to pull up the tier list real quick, and we shall begin. Actually, I think we're just good to... Boop! Alrighty. This is where we left off. It's been a minute. It's been like a week since we last did this. Are those more? No. They added more series. No. They updated this. When did they update this? Oh my god, it was updated yesterday. They added more. No. Oh my god. I had no idea they did this. Oh my god. No. They added more theories. Dude. Oh my god, no. We're never gonna be done. Okay, I don't think it's that much. We ended like, what? There? Oh my god. It is. It is Batman 1966. I know, I have the lights on today. Dude, oh my god. They added more theories. Dude, what are some of these? Who would think... Oh, the Fnaf theories wiki added more? That explains it. Actually, they are missing... They are missing a new one. It's like Absolute 87 or something. I saw Gibby's Horror Homestead made it. God. Oh my god. That is... Well, that just added another stream. Alright, let's just get into this. Let me change the background music. Oh my god. I don't know why I'm so upset about that. I'm not even upset. I don't... Okay. Alright. Let's get into this. Adults save them. I don't even know what these are now. I don't... Okay. This is the theory that the 5 bodies shown in Save Them are adult employees who were attacked by the animatronics. And I'm assuming they possess the toys? No. I don't... William doesn't really kill any adults. Like, I know he does in the books, and in the movie he sends them to their deaths, but he doesn't directly kill them, I don't think. So I'm gonna put this in very unlikely. Remember, this isn't in, like, any order, by the way. Other than, like, the top. Agony Toyshnik. This is the theory that the vengeful spirit... I'm assuming. It's the theory that the vengeful spirit is just an agony being of all of William Afton's victims. Nah. Anything... People will make any theory to say it's not Andrew. Let me say that. Nope. Very unlikely. This one was always here. I just had it moved. Just to... Whoops. Just to put it in alphabetical order. I'll throw it there. Alright. Arnold Driver. Is the theory that Arnold ran over David. No. No. Very, very unlikely. Arnold is not that important. No. Arnold's not that important. He's just a guy who dies. Rest in peace. This is another one that I moved. It's not new. Ballora Fiona. I'm assuming this is the theory that Fiona possesses Ballora. We have not ranked Mike Killer yet. Where is it? There it is. Mike Killer. No issues found in my PC. That's great. I don't know if you guys saw that. William didn't directly kill the DCI. He had the toys do it. Not the worst. Not the worst theory for the DCI. Believe me. There are some weird ones. Yeah, Ballora Fiona. This is... Okay, I'm getting an understanding of what these new theories they added are. BV Charlie friends. This is the theory that Bite Victim and Charlie were friends before they died. Not awful. I'm assuming a big piece of evidence is going to be the movie, with Vanessa and Charlie being friends. I don't hate it. I do think if Charlie would be friends with any of the Afton kids, it would be Bite Victim, just because I think they're the closest in age. I don't know. Not really any evidence for it, I don't think. But, not awful. Not awful. Yeah, it makes sense. Puppet Victim, this is another old one. Connected arcades. This is the theory that the Midnight Motorist minigame and Fruity Puppet, Fruity Maze, minigames are connected. So I'm assuming it'd be like, after William does the MCI, that's when the Later That Night segment takes place. That is true, BJ. I think that theory about Bite Victim and Charlie being friends would lend itself to Charlie being the Fredbear plush. I do agree. I do agree. I think it would line up very nicely. I'm not a fan of this one. Connected arcades. Just because the MCI probably doesn't happen in 1985. I mean, 1983. And likewise, Midnight Motors probably doesn't take place in 1985. David Receiver. I'm assuming this is the theory that David Murray is the Happiest Day receiver. Yeah, David Murray. That's... Nope. No, I'm putting this one in debunked. No. David is nowhere near associated with Golden Freddy or Happiest Day. That's silly. Most of these new theories are silly. Also, did they just now add Molten MCI? I swear that was already on here. No, they had Molten DCI. Sorry. Edwin FFPS. This is the theory that we play as Edwin in FNAF 6. I do think Edwin survives post Secret of the Mimic. But I don't think he's doing FNAF 6. I think Henry's speech makes it pretty clear that we play as Michael. So, debunked. Entered Guard. This is the theory that during FNAF 3, we play as Michael. It's a good question. There are a ton of Mike theories. We play as Michael during FNAF 3, and he has entered inside of him. No. No. No, I don't, why would Ennard care? Ennard wouldn't care. No. Fright's Tales. I'm assuming this is the theory that Frights and Tales are connected? Yeah, are connected and share continuity. Regardless of if they're canon to the games or not. Confirmed. Hang on. Confirmed. Close to confirmed. Tales from the Pizzaplex has the story Frailty, which obviously it's the first story in all of Tales, which immediately maybe not connects it to Frights, but it has an Eleanor victim. Jessica, I think her name is, has a heart-shaped pendant, which heals and has remnant in it. And, yeah, the movie did mess up a lot of Michael theories. And Jessica has a nightmare about someone with robotic footsteps, I think, coming and ripping off her limbs. That's very clearly Eleanor. So regardless of if you think the books take place in the games or not, very clearly this is true. Fritz being the vengeful spirit. I mean, he's a boy. That's about it. God. Anything to say it's not Andrew. Look at these. Look at these goofy theories. My God. Freedom! Molten MCI. No, this one was here. This one was here. This one was here. I remember moving it now. Golden Squared. I don't know. No, not Golden Squad. Golden... No, I want Golden Square. Hang on, is there a way to, like, search for theories on here? Glossary, maybe? Yes, there is. Alright, what the heck is Golden Squared? It's not on here. Okay. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Cassidy? Oh, they misspelled squared, too. I have zero idea what this theory is, so, I couldn't tell you, so I'm just going to throw it there. Golden Suit DCI. This is... I swear we did this one already. Oh, whatever. This is the theory that Golden Freddy was used for the DCI murders. If you ask me, like, I'm pretty sure it's FNAF 2, where Ralph says, "We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it. None of them are acting right." So I would say this one's close to confirmed. But that's just my woke opinion. Alright, and then lastly, for the new theories they added, Guard saved them. Did I just see Gregory being Mixus? Yeah. Thank God that wasn't added. Guard saved FNAF. Oh no. It's the theory that the purple guy sprite seen in the Save the minigame isn't William, but an unnamed security guard. God, dude. Who's coming up with these? Alright. On to where we left off last time. M1 Storyteller. This is the theory that the storyteller from the books, maybe the games too, you know, is run on the M1, F10, and 4 theory. Or it's the theory that Fiona, F10, and 4 is the game version of the storyteller. One of those. One of those. Yeah, it's like glitch M1. But not exactly. And there's no page for it. Okay, well. To be fair, in the Storyteller, they say that it's running on the Mimic 1 program. Mimic 1, M1. You can see the connection. 6, 7. Fiona Murray from Secret of the Mimic. I don't know. I don't hate this idea. I don't hate it. I just think if it was the case, it definitely got lost in translation. Yeah, I don't hate it either. I just don't think I believe it. So I'm gonna throw this in the top of very unlikely. M1 plush is the theory that the Psychic Friend Fredbear plush is possessed by F10N4. This plays into like God David and stuff. Nope. Mailbot Toyschnick. This is the theory that Mailbot is the one you should not have killed, and I'm assuming we play as Jackie in Ultimate Custom Night. This one's confirmed. This one's Andrew Pizza. Mainline only. This is the theory that... Guys, nobody has had a revelation in chat. This is the theory that literally only the games are canon. Like the mainline games. No books. No movie. No Into the Pit. No Fnaf World. Probably no AR either. It's technically not debunked. But like stuff like the logbook, even Ticket to Fun, those are probably canon. So I'm going to put this one in very unlikely. That's not just me coping because of the books being confirmed not canon. Mike Beth, oh god. Yeah, there's some weird Michael theories. MCM under Pizzaplex. Chat, what do we think about MCM being under the Mega Pizzaplex? Not to be confused with Fazburger. This one just says that Murray's Costume Manor, the remains of it, whatever, are underneath FNAF 6, which is underneath the Pizzaplex. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a fan. Hi Joey, thank you for joining. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this one. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't hate the idea of Murray's Costume Manor being underneath the Pizzaplex, but FNAF 6 being in the middle, I think really ruins that. Because that would mean that FNAF 6 is built over Murray's Costume Manor, which I just don't really like. Yeah, this theory is more so about FNAF 6 being on top of Murray's Costume Manor more than anything. Yeah, it's not a terrible idea. I think I would just wait for the sequel to Ruin, Abyss. If that one has, like, Cassie exploring, I don't know, the rooms we saw in Secret of the Mimic, or, like, the ruins of them, then I would believe this. But for now, I'm gonna put it in 50-50. Just because I don't know. Yeah, no, Joey, this is, yeah, I didn't, I didn't expect to stream either today, but early Christmas present. Plus, I can update you guys on like some channel stuff at the end of the stream, because I have been working on those. What a dog doing? Yeah, I will say, BJ, R&D. It's weird. If R&D was like FNAF 6 instead of FNAF 1, then I would believe that theory, no problem. But it's weird. What a dog doing? Mangle Dog. I believed this theory when like game theory first popularized it, but now nah, very unlikely. But I'll put it towards the top because I did believe it for a while. Mr. Hippo's possessed by an old war veteran. Eh, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Mangled Rabbit. Do I dare ask what this one is? What? Mangled Rabbit is the theory that the second head on Mangle is from the White Rabbit from Fnaf World. What? She has a rabbit's tail instead of a fox. The eye is completely black like the White Rabbit's. She has 2 hands. That is the first I've ever seen that theory. No. No. Middle. Middle. No, that's... God. I'm gonna move Help the Eclipse up a little. Because I think it's a lot more likely than those. It is a weird theory. Yeah. Markiplier burrows. This is the theory that Markiplier, in that one FNAF AR trailer, is Mr. Burrows from The Storyteller. Hey, screw it, what the hell? I can't think of any evidence for this, but I really like that idea. I really like that idea. I'm very... What is the evidence for this? They have similar appearances? That's... Okay. He's considered tall. Markiplier's tall. They have nose. Hey, that's... Screw it. I like this one. I like this one. I really like this one. I think that's really funny. I'm putting that in 50-50. I like that one. I like that one. That's a funny one. MCI 6. Okay. My Andrew ass has to look something up real quick. I want to make sure I don't, like, oops. It's the theory that the missing children incident included 6 victims. I mean... yeah, Markiplier running Fazbear Entertainment would be the greatest thing Sky has ever done. Ever. Okay, is this theory just saying that Andrew was, like, after them? Because I do think Andrew was around the time of the missing children incident, don't get me wrong. Yeah, mainly because of Return to the Pit. But yeah, I don't know. This one's an interesting one. I don't really get it. Like, it's grouping Andrew in with the 5, but it's not being real specific about it. Yeah, Andrew is definitely canon. I'm gonna put this one in close to confirmed, though, because we've seen multiple times that there are 6 victims, mainly in Into the Pit, but whatever. But I'm gonna put this towards the bottom, just because I don't really get that. It's saying if Andrew was part of the June 12th... Okay. Well, in that case... Very unlikely. No, 50-50. Because you could interpret the Return to the Pit thing differently, so I'll put it there. Put MCI 85 in the confirmed tier and everything else in the unlikely. Oh, yeah, you're talking about these. Yeah. Dude, who is saying that the missing children incident happened in 1979? Ah. 82? Nope. 83 has some merit. 83 has some merit, but not that much. But yeah, 85 is confirmed, yeah. It's how it is in the games. I meant like the Into the Pit game. It's how it is in the books. Not the movie, but we don't use the movie as evidence here, so. Hi, Club Penguin. Hi, Ard. Hi, Ard. Yeah, this one's... Yeah. Look there. Yeah, it's confirmed. MCI-MM, this is the theory that the runaway in Midnight Motorist is any of the missing children incident victims. Thank God that got shot dead by 5 Laps at Freddy's. What did the movie confirm? That's a good question. In my opinion, I think we can only use the movie for evidence for Vanessa being an Afton and for characterization for all the characters. That's literally it. Yeah, and the puppet being, like, Charlie being William's first direct victim. But then you start to get iffy with, like, the years and stuff, so, I don't know. Neighborhood Kids MCI. This is the theory that the kids that Bite Victim sees on his walk home are the missing children incident victims. I don't hate this theory. The only problem I have with it is the laughing kid being a victim. Because I think he's the bully, one of Michael's friends. And I just don't see... I think that's a little too old for William. So I'll put it like there. The fourth closet implies MCI 87? Please elaborate. You've piqued my interest, nobody. Mediocre Day. This is the theory that the mediocre melodies are represented by the masked kids in Happiest Day. I would say that's, like, pretty close to confirmed. It's not a direct match, obviously, because there's no blue mediocre melody. Yeah, I agree, BJ. I think the missing children incident victims were just random kids. Yeah, wrong place, wrong time. I don't think Afton premeditated it. We'll put this one in 50-50. I've seen worse. Mediocre neighborhood kids? No. No. I appreciate these theories for trying to give relevance to those kids, but... No. No. MM87. I don't know why there's no MM83. Oh, probably because I moved this one. That would explain it. Where are the other MMs? Is there no MM83? Well, we know which one they're going to be adding soon. Alright, Mike All. This is the theory that we play as Mike in every single Fnaf game. Not every single one. 1, 2, 3, 4, sister location, and 6. I do think we're him in 1, 3, 4, sister location, and 6. I do not think we are him... we might be him in 2. I don't know. Debunked? Damn. Charlie was born in 1980, according to the fourth closet. Yeah, that's not... Yeah. Not a bad idea, nobody. Okay. Bro cooked. Bro cooked. Bro brought in the evidence. Alright. Yeah, because that's the same book where they retcon her death year, so... Okay. Yeah, Michael is definitely not Jeremy Fitzgerald. Maybe Fritz Smith. Maybe. Maybe. But... I don't know. It's weird. Because, like... Let's say he's, like, 13 in 1983 when he kills his brother. 4 years after that would make him 17. And that's... I don't think that's old enough to get, like, a night guard position. I don't know the, like, specifics of Utah, but, like... 50-50. We'll put that one in 50-50. Probably, like, there. Mike Accomplice. Okay, this is one of the things that, like, the movie definitely can support with, like, Michael Afton, spoilers, and Vanessa, so I don't know. I don't hate this idea, and I do like the narrative of Michael going along with William up until sister location, and then he, like, splits off from him. I don't hate that. I don't hate that. My god, there's so many Michael theories. Honestly, I would argue that the movie definitely helps this theory. Close to the point where I would say it's close to confirmed. What do we think about that? Putting it in close to confirmed. Can you put Watcher 6 in the background? Sure, Joey, just for you. Just for you. We'll do a 10-hour loop. I always thought that Michael was ignorant about what his dad was doing. I think he did work for his dad, but not exactly knew what he was doing. Agreed. Agreed. I don't think it's... Can you guys hear that okay? Can you guys hear that okay? I'm going to turn it up a little. If that was a bad idea, just let me know. Yeah, I don't think it's to the full extent of, like, Vanessa in the movie. But yeah. That's true. That's true, BJ. The poster in Fnaf 6 could lend itself to that theory, too. That's very true. I did not think of that. Good call out. This sounds really quiet. There's no way you guys can hear this. You can? Okay. Is it too, like, loud or anything? Do you need me to turn it down? Okay, well, now I can hear it. Mike adopted. We're putting this one with the other adopted theories. I hate them. Mike all except Jeremy. Okay, we'll just throw this one next to the other one. Next to Mike all. Where did I put that? Where? There it is. Yeah. I definitely think he's not Jeremy. If this one was like Mike all except Jeremy and Fritz, I would put that one in close to confirmed. It's fine, okay. Michael Fnaf 1, I'm putting this in confirmed. The logbook very clearly tells us that Michael wasn't Fnaf 1. Very, very, very clearly. What's your least favorite theory? Except for Dream Theory. Probably... Definitely one of these. I don't think it's any of, like, the debunked theories. Because most of these are just stupid. Probably Fright's fiction, if we're being honest. I don't like that theory at all. Alright. Michael mitosis. I'm assuming... Okay, no, I know what this one is. This one is the theory that Mike Schmidt and Michael Afton from the movie... Spoiler. They combined create Michael Afton from the games. So you're taking, like... Michael Afton is, like, the first half of Michael, from, like, the Bite of 83 up until Sister Location. Mike Schmidt is also kind of that time period, but more so, like, FNAF 3 and 6, right? This one, he cares about his brother. He had a traumatic incident happen to him. This one, he didn't have that. He did not have a brother like that. I do think this theory is correct. I'm not going to put it confirmed, because you never know with the movies. But I do think that's the case. You just got a God Apple? God Apple. Michael oldest. Why is Foxy Bro separate in this image? I do obviously think this is confirmed, but why is... Okay, so it's neither Mike neither or Mike Bro. So no matter what, it's saying he's the oldest. Okay. That one's confirmed. Where to go? This one's confirmed. No matter what, it's... Yeah. I think we were talking about this last stream, but, I think the order of the births of the Schmidts in the movies is the order of the births of the Aftons in the games. So Mike Schmidt, Michael Afton, they're both the oldest, followed by Garrett, followed by Abby, and then Elizabeth. Well, / Elizabeth. Yeah, Michael and Foxy Bro are definitely the same person. This theory is just saying, like, regardless of if they are or aren't, Michael's the oldest. Yeah, that's... yeah. Michael's sister location. This one's confirmed by the logbook. This one's, like, especially confirmed. Like, he straight up says, "Father, it's me, Michael. I did it." What the hell is Mike Beth? Something tells me nobody was waiting for me to get this theory. Is this true, nobody? Were you waiting for me to get to this theory? Not Mike Bot. It's a joke theory, okay? That Michael Afton is his sister Elizabeth from Sister Location. Screw it, Mike equals Elizabeth. Shatter Elizabeth? Scott told me that this was in the Fnaf 4 box. That tells me everything I need to know about this. Into Andrew Pizza here. Straight into... right behind Jukebox Victim. Where do you think Vanessa was in the birth order, assuming she's an Afton in the games? I know we've been somewhat talking about this. I think she's definitely the last, and I think she's somewhere in the 2000s is when she's born. Why is he blonde? Actually, Elizabeth Afton is ginger. Actually, the character encyclopedia draws her like that. Mike Beth for life. Yeah, okay. Mike Bot. Okay, to be fair, I'm curious if this is... I'm curious if the wiki is going to bring up this evidence. In Sister Location, there's that weird blue screen of code Easter egg in Ballora Gallery. That's pretty good evidence for Mike Bot. I'm curious if this is going to bring it up. Yeah, in Ballora Gallery, if you hold 0 and 1 for 83 seconds, which is a very specific number, a blue screen pops up, which has a bunch of numbers that appear, looking like a crash screen. Could be due to ClickTeam's game engine messing up or a game bug? No. No other ClickTeam game has that. But no, I don't think this theory is canon. I just think that's an interesting piece of evidence for it. So, very unlikely, but it does have that evidence, which is not something we should ignore, I don't think. Mike Both, this plays into Mike Bot and Bite Victim Bot, whatever that theory's called. No. No. Mike Bro, I'm putting this one in... It's not technically confirmed, but it's, like, really close. Like, there's no reason for them not to be the same character. Yeah, BJ, I agree with what you just said. I think Bite Victim is older. And, yeah. Yeah. There's no reason for this not to be the case. I'm trying to think if there's any... There's nothing that, like... there's nothing that, like, confirms this. But I mean, like... Come on. Mike Clone. Come on. Come on. Come on. Mike Couch. Okay. We're back in the... We're dipping our toes into Midnight Motorist again. Mike Couch depends on if you think Bite Victim is the runaway or not. I don't, personally. But I did for a time, and how am I already losing my voice? We've been going for 40 minutes. Okay, this 50-50. Right next to BV Runaway, because they both speak and wear gray, but the characterizations aren't the same, so I don't know. Yeah, 50-50. Mike Dreamer, this one's confirmed as well. Thank you, Logbook. God, the Logbook did so much. Like, I feel like Ticket to Fun tried to be like the Logbook, but the only big reveal it had was Charlie dying at Freddy's. Mike Experiments. This is the theory that Michael Afton was put in the Fnaf 4 experiments as some kind of punishment. That's what happens when you stream 2 times a week for an hour. You're not wrong, Club Penguin. You're not wrong. I'm gonna be honest. I believe this one, right? I think this is my explanation for Midnight Motorist. Michael runs away. To where, I don't know. But I think when he comes back, William says he will be sorry when he gets back. I think that line is saying that William puts Michael in the fear experiments as a punishment. Now, I don't think they started out as experiments. I think it was just a punishment for him. And then once William, like, decided, hey, I can use this to experiment with agony and fear and whatnot, he took Michael out, because it doesn't seem like William wants his children to be, like, test subjects. Because whenever Elizabeth dies inside Baby, he shuts the whole thing down. So, I do think this one's true. Michael theories, yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. Kind of. I'm gonna put it in 50-50. Like, up there with, maybe not up there. I'll move that one above it. Yeah, I do think there's good explanation for it. Maybe not as likely as these. Move this one there. Yeah. Alright, Mike FFPS, this one's pretty close to confirmed. Henry says, and for you, my brave volunteer, who somehow found this job listing not intended for you. Yeah. My voice is gone. Mike neither. It's not debunked, technically, but it's not likely either. Mike free. This is the theory that Michael, during his time working at Fazbear's Fright, he plays the arcade cabinets that are there, and those are the Fnaf 3 minigames, and he sets up Happiest Day and frees the children. I believe this one for, like, a little bit. I don't know if I do anymore. Gonna put it, like, towards the bottom of 50-50. Yeah. Welcome back, Joey. We just put Mike free in 50-50. Mike Fritz. God, is this stream just gonna be Mike theories? My God. Mike Fritz. I don't know. I don't know. Fritz gets fired for the same reasons as Michael in FNAF 1. But those reasons aren't really solid evidence, because tampering with the animatronics and odor are both jokes about the player being a sweat at custom night, right? They're changing the animatronics difficulty, and they're sweating really hard by beating the hard nights. So when you look at it that way, there's really no evidence. So I'm gonna put this one at the bottom of 50-50, very bottom. Because at least, like, Dwayne and Phone Dude have, like, the same personalities. Mike and Fritz don't really have that. Have you ever tried to do a FNAF cosplay? No, but I've dressed up as FNAF characters before for Halloween. One year I went as Funtime Freddy. Actually, I'm not gonna pull it up. Yeah, one year I went as Funtime Freddy. A few years ago I went as, like, a security guard for the movie. Yeah. I don't know. Do you guys want to see my Halloween costumes? My FNAF Halloween costumes? Is there a theory on who's Phone Guy? I don't think so. There is, okay. There's Phone Dude being the CEO, and Phone Ralph, as in he possesses the phone. I'm glad they clarified that. Mike Hero. Yeah, after Sister Location, yeah. Let me see if this one's talking about that, though. Michael is a heroic, morally good character. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I would say he's more morally gray, because he does kill his brother, and he might be William's accomplice. So, I do think it's possible. Alright, let me pull up the Halloween costume. Or we'll go full screen for this. Halloween costumes. Taking a slight detour so you guys can bully me. Yeah, nobody, I have no idea where Party Hat is. Bro overslept again. if he ever does show up, just we should all ridicule him. No, BJ, take your time. Take your time. I appreciate you showing up for as long as you have. I have a photo album of all my Halloween costumes. I don't know. There it is. Okay. Just gonna zoom in on me. I don't want you guys seeing my siblings. Oh, you can't see that at all. I know it's like blurry. I have no idea what that blue beeping thing is either, but like there's the Funtime Freddy cosplay. I think using a Bonnie plush for Bonbon is actually like really smart. I think that's a really smart idea. Yeah, this is a W costume though. So like such high quality, even though it's like so simple. like that feels like something someone would wear at Faz Fest. And then the other one is, I know it's not like a full body picture, but like there's the security guard outfit. It says security on the top. I actually have the hat. Let me get that. Oh my god, my legs. Oh. And I have the badge. Hang on, I'll get the badge. What happened to the E? Where's the E? Hang on, where's the E? I have no idea where the E went. Guys, look, an authentic movie prop. I have no idea where the E... I'm scaredy. This doesn't even have a thing. I got this from Temu. I'm gonna be honest. I got this from Temu. It doesn't have the thing on like the back so you can like paint it to yourself. I don't know where the E went. That's actually really upsetting. Where's the E? Dude, if Ard was here, Ard, if you can hear me, if you have this on in the background, I expect you to take a picture of this and post it. Post it to TikTok. Post it in the TikTok comments. I have no idea where the E went. Okay, well, I'm keeping this on for the rest of the stream because I don't want to get back up again. Yeah, I didn't dress up for Halloween this year. Too old. I'm Unk. Bernie Unk Bear. Yeah, my last Halloween costume was Gambit. I guess we're showing my Halloween costumes now. Last costume was Gambit. I know you can't see that, but yeah. I do miss dressing up. It was fun. Alright, chat has to take a minute to catch up, so I actually think I kind of pulled this off pretty well. He's turning Unk. I'm already Unk. At least this thing hides my, like, chopped hair. Alright, let's get back to the tier list. Mike Jeremy. Debunked because in the week before... you took a pic? Thank you, Art. Thank you. In the week before, Ralph says that the Bite of 87 victim doesn't do anything much these days, whereas we know Michael works at Fnaf 1, Sister Location, and 6. So this one's directly debunked. Probably like there. 19. Unk status supreme. Alright. Mike Killer. Mike Kill All. No. Debunked because Scott himself has said that William isn't literally purple. I don't know how that debunks it, but whatever. And, well, I guess you don't really need Mike Trap. But yeah, this is debunked. There's no way Michael's the killer. Thank you for showing up, Art. I appreciate it. Mike OMC. Not really debunked, but not likely either. Again, I think if anyone, OMC is Edwin. But even then, I don't think it's likely. Mike Realization. I'm assuming this has to do with, like... William or something? I don't know. Oh, here we go. Is the theory that Michael Afton started as a knowing accomplice to William Afton, but changed to be against him during sister location after realizing his true intentions. Ding, ding, ding! I think this is the most accurate Mike accomplice theory we've seen today. I think that does a lot for Michael's character. If he's like, he torments his brother, gets him killed, and he turns to his father to like, maybe for approval or something. And then William uses him, and then once Mike goes through sister location and gets scooped, he realizes, oh my god, he sent me down here to die. He doesn't care about me, and then becomes Mike Hero. I think that's really solid. Really solid. Yeah, I really like that. I'm gonna move this one down to like Mike accomplice. These two combined into Mike realization, I think that's good. What's your least favorite FNAF game? Gonna give the obvious answer and say FNAF AR. I don't know, but like mainline games, I don't know, probably FNAF 4, just because it's hard, it's scary, and the lore is confusing. Mike regen. This is the theory that after Ennard leaves Michael, the remnant inside his body heals him back to looking like a human. I think this theory is just a cheap way to justify Michael getting a job in FNAF 3 and 6, and kind of justifying You're the Band being canon from the books. I don't really like this theory. I don't know. I don't really like this one. Very unlikely. It's a pretty popular theory, though. Surprisingly. Surprisingly. Mike Revenge. I mean, Revive. Where I'm assuming this is, like, after FNAF 6 he gets revived? Oh, no. This is Mike Victim. After Mike died in the Big Bite in 83, he was resurrected and brought back to life. Hi, Cody. Thank you for joining. Put this in garbage tier. I don't even know where we have Mike Victim. Oh, I don't think we've done it yet. No, we haven't. Mike Runaway. This one's going in 50-50. Any Midnight Motorist theory is just going up here. Oops. Mike Save Them. This is the theory that Michael is the purple guy sprite in the Save Them minigame. No. 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 I'm trying to think if there's anything that debunks it. There's not. But again, like Guard Save Them, it's very unlikely. Mike's survival. This is the theory that Mike survived FNAF 6. There is evidence for this, and funnily enough, the video I'm editing was editing before I started streaming. I do touch upon this. The evidence is like scrapped content though, and like, yeah, there's the drawing of Helpy escaping the fire in Help Wanted 2, and Helpy does somewhat represent Mike. But I think that drawing is just showing Helpy surviving the fire. Or even, you know, the Mimic shows himself, Mimic code shows itself as Helpy. So maybe that's just showing Mimic running away from the burning MCM. I don't know. So this one's very unlikely. Plus it makes for bad storytelling. So, yeah. Again, I have no idea what this theory is. Michael being the vengeful spirit. This is like Bite Victim, William indirectly got Mike killed. Because, yes, he built the Fun Times and he built the Scooper, and those killed Michael. But, like, no. No. Not debunked, but not likely at all. Mike's Trap was debunked. This is, again, one of the few theories that was debunked by Scott himself. So we can put that there. These three have all been debunked by Scott himself. I think they're like the only ones he's debunked, so we take those. Mike UCN is very unlikely because the man in room 1280 exists. So, like there. Molten MCI. Nobody, I think earlier you were saying that it was like mid. Molten mid CI. Whereas I'm going to put this in close to confirmed. I think there's just a lot of evidence for it. Too much, in fact. Yeah, probably like there. I'm going to move this down. No, not. Yes, I am. Yeah. I don't know. I do. Speaking from a narrative standpoint, I think it's mid. But evidence-wise, I think it's pretty close to confirmed. Yeah. I don't know. It's sloppy, and it messes up the timeline of, like, Sister Location and Follow Me. But the evidence supports it. Oh my god, I'm really losing my voice. I'm gonna be honest, I intended to get to, like, the S's today. But we'll see. We'll see. Mike Victim. Oh my god, I really am losing my voice. Putting this one next to Mike Both and Mike Revive. Very much not the case. Alright, Mimic Baby. There's no evidence for this. John Fnaf can suck an egg. Mimic Branches. This is the theory that the Mimic is like a tree. It has the central log, which is the Mimic endoskeleton, but then it has branches, which are its code. So, Glitch Trap is a branch. Tiger Rock is a branch. Nexie is a branch. Helpy is a branch. Help 1 and 2 kind of throws a wrench in this, because Glitch Trap's goals and Helpy's goals are very much to set up Ruin, where the Mimic is free. If they're branches, I think they have their own goals and wouldn't care about the Mimic. I'm going to put this in 50-50. Before Help 1 and 2, I believed it, and I probably would have said it was confirmed. Now I'm 50-50 on it. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have any feelings on the theory. So I'm just going to put it there. MM Jeremy's. Midnight Motorist, I'm assuming. That Midnight Motorist is about the MCI victim Jeremy. Jeremy Fitzgerald, okay. Okay. With the other MCI. MM theories. Molten Augment. No idea. It's the theory that the endoskeletons of the toys haunted by the DCI were used to create the Funtime animatronics, and then the remnant from the classics was later added to the Funtimes. No, there's no evidence for the toys being used in the Funtimes. Come on. Goodbye, Club Penguin. Thank you for joining. There's no evidence for this. Yeah, I don't know how much longer we're going to go for. I might just finish after the Oswald theories. And then I'll do 2 more streams. MM87. This one has very good evidence with the dice in 5 Laps at Freddy's. But the dice also have 83 on them. So I think that kind of negates the evidence. So, very unlikely. Molten Blob. This is the theory that the Blob is kind of like... It is Molten Freddy. This is hinted at by the character encyclopedia, where it says, like, the Blob has its origins in Molten Freddy. So... But at the same time, that's a book that says Bon Bon appears in FNAF 3. So, I don't really know. Again, I think the Blob is the agony of the Mimic's victims, I'll put it kind of towards the top of very unlikely. Just because there's not... If we ever learn more about the Blob, that'll make or break this theory. Yeah, they do look the same, which is weird, but I don't know. Molten DCI. No, I think if there's any Molten theory that's true, it's Molten MCI. The Blob is weird. I agree. The Blob is very weird. But yeah, Molten DCI doesn't really have any evidence. We're directly shown the missing children incident victims being put in there in the books, so I don't know why we would just assume that it's the DCI in the games, especially when the DCI doesn't really have any relevance to begin with, other than possessing the toys and moving on. Molten David. It's not debunked, but it's very unlikely. Molten MCI Alter S. I'm gonna be honest, I know what this... I've heard of this theory before, but I couldn't tell you what the heck it's about. Oh god. Is the theory that the missing children incident victims haunt the Funtime animatronics. So, like, not Molten Freddy, but the Fun Times. Then they possess Ennard and Molten Freddy, while Golden Freddy latches onto Springtrap. So it's saying that Molten MCI would just be Gabriel, Jeremy, Susie, Fritz, whereas Cassidy latches onto Springtrap. No, because Fnaf 6 repeatedly uses the Candy Cadet stories to say 5 into 1, not 4, 5. And in the books where Molten MCI happens, it's all 5. Plus, I don't think Cassidy is the vengeful spirit. Used to believe this one until you accepted Andrew into your heart. Yeah. Yeah, no, this one's... I think... Again, anything to say that it's not Andrew. Monty Kill Bonnie, I'm putting this in confirmed. I have a whole YouTube short on this you can watch if you want to know why. Yeah. I have a whole short on this. But Help Wanted 2 confirms it. Monty Innocent, debunked. Yeah. Alright. Now we move on to the movies. Movie clues, movie anti-clues. Is there like a middle ground where we can say like characterization? I don't know. I don't know. Because some of the clues just can't work in the games. But some of them can. And then it's just cherry picking, which, as someone who's been a firm believer of the books being canon, believe me, I do not like cherry picking. So I'm gonna put these in 50-50 because I don't want to make up my mind right now. Right behind Frights. BJ, I don't know if you were here. I don't think you were here. But last stream, I'm pretty sure, I gave, like, my funnel of canon. So, at the top, I have the games. I think whatever is in the games overrides the rest of the funnel. Beneath the games is the books. Mainly Fazbear Frights and Tales. The logbook and Ticket to Fun are, like, between those two. Beneath Frights and Tales is the novel trilogy. And then beneath that is the movie. So I think the further you go down, the less accurate it gets. You could call that nitpicky, and I wouldn't argue against you. That's for me how I view canon. I think everything... I think the books especially are secondary canon. And then I guess tertiary and whatever fourth would be. I feel like we've talked about that before, but I don't know. Alright, moving on. Yeah, it's not a perfect structure, because, like, the novel trilogy does have a lot of overlap with the games, and kind of like with a funnel, you would expect in that funnel you would expect the novel trilogy and the movies to have similarities, and they do with like Ella, but I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting idea that I definitely think I should flesh out in the future, and I would be down to talk about it in DMs with you. Mrs. Afton CEO. This one's very unlikely. We don't buy into that Matt Pant propaganda. Mrs. Afton Couch, I'm going to put next to Mike Couch, because, again, depends on how you view Midnight Motorist. Yeah, no, that's valid, BJ, because, like, the books do have stuff that just can't work with the games. Like, Henry takes his own life, right? That's a pretty big one. So, I would say that's on par with, like, some of the stuff the movie says, with, like, I don't know, I can't think of examples, but no, I get what you're saying. Mrs. Afton Clara is the theory that Clara in The Immortal and the Restless is Mrs. Afton. Bottom of 50-50. I don't think it's her name, but I think you could parallel them onto each other. Mrs. Emily CEO, I'm going to put next to Mrs. Afton CEO, because they're, I don't think there's a CEO of Fazbear at this point in the timeline. I think it's like the storyteller told us, it's just a board of investors who are greedy and want money and brought back the brand because they saw it as profitable. Mrs. Emily Couch, I'm going to put in very unlikely. Not that low, but like, there. Yeah, no, BJ, that is true. That is true. Clara is in line with Michael. So I'm going to move it down, now that you said that. To very unlikely. I won't put it in debunked, because I do think you can still make a case for them being parallels. But yeah. Yeah. They're greedy and they want money. Mrs. Emily Mound. No. A lot of these theories miss the fact that the wives in Fnaf just don't matter. Fiona is the only one that has relevance, unfortunately. Exactly, yeah. Modern Fazbear Entertainment is an LLC. I have another video on that if you want to check that out too. Multiple Fredbear is the theory that the Fredbear we see in FNAF 3, 4, UCN, and Security Breach are all different. I don't think so. I don't think so. I wish Fredbear looked like his FNAF 4 design, but we directly see in Ultimate Custom Night, and really the modern era, that Fredbear is just Freddy, but yellow and purple. So I'm gonna put this one in the bottom of close to debunked. I'm not gonna say it's fully debunked, because there could still be multiple Fredbears at like different locations, and Fall Fest probably used a different one. Like I don't think Fall Fest used, I don't know, I'm not gonna get into it. I'm just gonna put it like there. There we go. Yeah, limited liability company. It's not owned by one person. Yeah, neighborhood kids being the DCI victims. There's no evidence for this. Where did I put the other DCI? Not DCI, neighborhood kid stuff. Where did I put it? God, there's so much stuff in very unlikely. Can we get some more good theories here? What the hell is network victim? Okay, it's the theory that the flip side from FNAF World is an interconnected network of memories and dreams that overlaps with the physical real world. Strong emotions and memories leave imprints on the flip side that in turn affect the real world. The agony/suffering of the bite victim and others would infect the flip side, creating and bringing agony-corrupted creatures, objects, and memories and dreams into the real world. That sounds pretty good to me, damn. That's What's the source? It's a Reddit post. I'm gonna take a look at that after. That seems very interesting. I do somewhat agree with this, honestly. A long while ago, before we got, like, Ruin... Oh, no, kind of. Before we got, like, Help Wanted 2. No, kind of after that. I was working on, like, a graphic. I don't have it on me. I was working on a graphic that showed, like, the interconnectedness of, like, Fnaf's realms, if you will. So, like, the real world connects to... Like, the real Fnaf world connects to the flip side, which connects to Ultimate Custom Night because of the Easter eggs of Fnaf World characters. Ultimate Custom Night connects into, like, the Dream World because it's a nightmare. Nightmare Own tells us that. Which then connects back to the Fnaf world. And through the realm of the flip side, we can also connect to our world. That explains, like, the meta-ness. I might finish that graphic now, actually. Especially with, like, the movie kind of backing up the connection between the dream world and FNAF's real world. Because what happens in Mike's nightmares, like, he gets hooked, he gets scratched by the Foxy kid, and he gets that injury in real life. So, like, I kind of think that, like, the FNAF 4 nightmares, if Michael died in those, he would die in real life. So yeah, it's a really good theory. BJ, if you don't mind, at some point soon, it doesn't have to be today, I kind of want to, like, talk about this a bit more, because I do like that idea a lot. And if I can find the graphic, I'll share it with you. So I really like this theory. I really like that one. I have to put it in, like, 50-50, just because, yeah, I wouldn't say it's close to confirmed. But that's a really good theory. I like that one a lot. I really like that one. That might be one of my favorite theories we've seen in this tier list. Honestly, I like that one. I like that one. When's the stream gonna end? Probably go for... Hang on, how close are we to, like, the P's? Alright, we'll stop after Oswald Midnight Motorist, because some of these will fly through. Yeah, I like network theory. That's definitely something I want to expand on. New Harmony FNAF. This is the theory that FNAF takes place in New Harmony. Obviously from the books. The books take place in New Harmony, or at least Fredbear's or Freddy's is in New Harmony. I'm going to put this in 50-50, just because we know that FNAF 6, Security Breach, probably Secret of the Mimic, all take place in Hurricane, whatever it's called, because of the legal documents, but we don't know about, like, FNAF 1, 2, 3, sister location. We don't know where those take place. We don't know. So, 50-50. 50-50. I don't know why I have this one so high. Fredbear's is in New Harmony while Freddy's is in Hurricane. That's what I thought. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case in the games, because I think the Aftons do move. I think, let's assume Fredbear's is in New Harmony in the games. I think they start there and then move to Hurricane, which is Edwin's house, which, if you think MCM is under FNAF 6 in the Pizzaplex, would line up. So I do think there's, yeah, I think there's precedent. Night Andrew is the theory that Andrew is represented by Nightmare Own. 50-50. In Ultimate Custom Night, I do think he is, but not in the modern era. I don't think he's like the Fredbear plushes. I mean, the Nightmare Own plushies. So, probably there. You saw a video that looked at Arnold's license plate and proved that Secret of the Mimic is set in Utah? Oh, if you can find that video, I'd be very interested to see that. Nightmare Own being Charlie, I don't like that one. I think Charlie's just the puppet. Yeah. Nightmare Victim is the... I'm actually going to double check that. Nope, not that one. Okay, it is this one. It's the theory that crying child is haunting Michael Afton in the form of Nightmare Fredbear / Nightmare. To some extent, I do believe this. I think Nightmare is the one who is giving Mike the nightmares. I think Nightmare is the one behind that. But that would kind of mean Bite Victim is Shadow Freddy, which is an idea I've played with before, but I don't know how much I like it. I don't know how much I like it. So I'm gonna put it bottom of 50-50. Because it explains... What does it explain? It explains, like, the Easter eggs of, like, the IV, the pills, and the flowers, kind of. I don't know. It also kind of means Bite Victim had to go through, like, the experiments, which I don't know if I believe, so... Yeah, maybe I'll move it down to very unlikely. Yeah, it's definitely more likely Shadow Freddy than Nightmare's doing. Nobody convicted is the theory that... It's the theory that nobody from chat got convicted for the missing children incident, and he actually got arrested, believe it or not. No, it's the theory that nobody got convicted for the missing children incident, and Scott retconned that from Fnaf 1. I think it's unlikely. Like, I'm not saying it's not the retcon, but I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, BJ, Yeah, I agree with that to some extent. Because it does seem like Michael's nightmares are a blend of his entire life. Like, because the Ralph phone call Easter egg, that's pretty big. Yeah. No CEO, I'm going to put this one in close to confirmed, because the books very much support that, and the games with the LLC. No DCI, very unlikely. Very unlikely. Very unlikely. Goodbye, nobody. Thank you for joining. Yeah, we'll finish off with this last row and then I'll end stream. Thank you for showing up though. Norman Victim is the theory that Bite Victim's name is Norman. This comes from Help Wanted, where one of the objects in the FNAF 4 bedroom is labeled Norman... Actually, no, the bedroom itself is just labeled Norman Bedroom. I think that's just because it's a stock asset, so I'm going to put this in debunked. Like, look at me and tell me that kid's name is Norman. Actually, I can kind of see it. Plus, that would explain why he's bullied. That's a silly name. Novel clues. This one's been confirmed by Scott. Scott has directly said we can use the novels as, like, clues and stuff. So that's very much confirmed. From the guy's mouth himself. Norman Bates? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. November Calls. This one's a... Didn't think I'd see this one on here. This is the theory that... I know what this is talking about, but I just don't know. Yeah, it's the theory that Ralph's phone calls in FNAF 2 aren't pre-recorded and are real-time. To some extent, this is true, because he says, "What on earth are you doing there? There's been an investigation." So that one's real. And in the week before, I don't remember him saying he pre-recorded the calls. I think he just said he left the messages for the next... For Jeremy. I don't remember. I do think they're in real time, though. I don't think they're pre-recorded. I think the only ones that are pre-recorded are FNAF 1. I don't even think the Into the Pit ones are pre-recorded, to be honest. So I'm going to put this in 50-50. Oldest bro? This one... It's technically true. Because he's Michael. So it's technically true. Where's Michael oldest? Yeah. Technically they're the same person, so it works. Yeah, the FNAF 3 Springlock ones are pre-recorded, but I just don't remember. I don't remember him saying anything about FNAF 2. OMC, bro. This one's just gonna go next to Mike. Michael being OMC because Michael and the Foxy Bro are the same person. OMC deity. If you remember, I said that Edwin OMC is one of the most likely explanations. I think this is the most likely. I don't know if I would go as far as to say he's like a deity. Because, like, that's more like a... Yeah, it's a god. I don't think OMC is a god. I think he's kind of just like... Oh, there's... In, like, Greek mythology, there's, like, Charon, his name is, I think... He was in Fortnite. Kind of, like, guiding souls to the underworld. I think that's what Old Man Consequences is, but for guiding souls to heaven. I think that's a... I think that's it. I think he... Because that's what we see him do. He tells Cassidy to rest, right? Rest your own soul, there's nothing left. And then she goes into Happiest Day. Same thing in FNAF World. Red Bear goes into the lake, and the scene you get after is called Happiest Day. Yeah, like, I don't think he's the Grim Reaper, but I do think he's like that Greek... He's the parallel of the Greek... What's the guy's name? Greek... Charon? Charon? Yeah, Charon. He transports souls of the deceased across the river Styx to the underworld. I think that's what Old Man Consequences is, but for FNAF. Yeah, so I'm gonna put this one in 50-50. No, I'll because it's not very unlikely. I do think it's likely. Yeah. You did not. BJ, you did not tell me about that. You're saying he could be like... Doofus? Like... Doofus... Scott coughing again. Like... Hey, I see it. I see it. If that's a fishing net, and they're both the same color, I see that. I see that. I see that. 100%. OMC King is the theory that Old Man Consequences is the same as the Red King in Help Wanted 2 and Princess Quest. This one's confirmed. The files directly label the king as OMC. That's actually one of the first things I found out about when Help Wanted 2 came out. I asked someone who like can go through the files and stuff of the games. I asked, hey, what's the Red King's name? Or something like this. And he showed me a screenshot where it says OMC something, 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 and it's for the king. So this one's confirmed. This one is directly confirmed by the code. And unlike Cassidy being the princess, never changed. To my knowledge, never changed. Rage quit? I mean, they're both red. You're gonna DM me the screenshots? I don't want to pull up our DMs on chat. Let me pull it up on my phone. We're almost done. We just have 6 more. Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. This guy. Yeah. I don't know what that guy's name is. Hang on. Wretched. Yeah. I know what you're talking about now. No, not FNAF. To Google we go. I have seen this before. It's a funny theory. Not funny, but like it's fun. Yeah, this guy. for being honest, I see a connection more so with Doofus more than anything, but this one is actually like a crocodile, whereas I don't know what the heck Doofus is. Yeah. Omni MCI. Is this the theory that... What? Is this the theory that the MCI victims are Omni-Men? Both the missing children incident and Charlie's murder happened back to back on the same night. No. Nah, probably not. Probably not. Orchestra victim. I'm assuming this is the theory that William orchestrated by victim's death, but let me double check that. Yeah. It's the theory that William orchestrated the events of the FNAF 4 End of Night minigames by telling Michael what to do, but not telling him about the malicious side of the plan. Not really good evidence. Don't get me wrong. I've played around with the idea that William has had something to do with Bite Victim's death. Maybe, like, he orchestrated Bite Victim becoming afraid of the animatronics. But I don't really believe that, to be honest. I don't think that's the case. Because it's totally something William would do. Orchestrate, you know, his child becoming traumatized, but I don't know why he would. So I'm going to put this one in very unlikely. Like, there. Origin MM. Isn't this one saying it's like the origin of William Afton? Yeah, I agree, BJ. Midnight Motorist is William's backstory. If Scott was a good writer, this is what he would do. I don't know. No, I don't think this is the case, because then you have a ton of threads that go nowhere. The Mound, that place, later that night, no, it just doesn't go anywhere. I don't hate the idea, and I do kind of wish it was true, in like a different world where Midnight Motorist is different, but in the world we live in now, this is very much not the case. Ideas for a theory video on your channel? You could play around with Network Victim. I heard that one's a pretty cool theory. You could play around with that. Or you could try to explain Andrew Pizza. Or Mike Beth. Oh yeah, or what BJ said. That's a good idea too. Alright, last three. These are all Oswald theories. Well, kind of. Oswald dad bully. This is the theory that Oswald's dad is the Freddy bully. The main piece of evidence is the Freddy mask that falls down from the attic into the pit. I don't know about this. The mask is interesting. I don't know why it's there. I just think... if this theory had one more really solid piece of evidence, even on the same level as the mask, I would believe it. But I just don't think so. Yeah, I don't hate it. And I do think I want to believe it. But I just think it needs that one more piece of evidence to really push me over the edge. So I'll put it 50-50. Yeah. Oswald Foxy. I'm going to be honest, I've never gotten the hype around this theory. It says that Oswald is Foxy in, like, the Pit universe, which is... I don't like that. Right? Because I think it tries to say that he is Foxy. Yeah, Oswald possesses Foxy in the 0-star ending of Into the Pit, the game. But, again, yeah. Foxy is possessed by Fritz. And plus, yeah, we already see the victims in the party room, so Fritz is dead, meaning he is probably possessing Foxy. So, it's not debunked, there is evidence, but I really don't like this theory. I really don't like it. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's debunked. Yeah. I think the ending stopping at Foxy's Pirate's Cove is just a coincidence, I think. It is weird that Foxy is nowhere in the game, but I don't think that means Oswald is Foxy. Alright, finally, Oswald Midnight Motorist. Yeah, we can just throw that one with the rest. And we're done! Alright. Yeah. That's probably all for today. Let's stop the background music. Made some good progress. Not as much as I would have liked, but to be fair, they added new theories to this tier list, which kind of threw it all off. There's no way we get this done in one stream. The rest of this done in one stream. 2 more streams. Next one will probably stop at, like, there. That's kind of halfway. But yeah, we did good. We did lose a few soldiers on the way to 6 a.m. My god, you can't even fit this in the full screen. You still can't. Oh my god. Can I get to like 15%? Oh my god. Alright, here's the tier list so far. Where's our basket of exotic butters? Ah! Yeah, 5 streams. I originally wanted to do 4, but to be fair, I do kind of like the idea of doing 5 streams. Just because, like, 5 Nights at Freddy's. I do kind of like that. Alright. Oh. Another stream in the bag. Appreciate you guys for showing up. I'll give some quick channel updates and then I'll dip. I don't know why I pointed that way. My door's that way. Before this stream, I was editing my next big video, theory video, on the wall code. Made some decent progress on that. Still a lot to edit on it, but I'm working on it. After taking like a 2-month hiatus of working on it, but that's not important. The timeline stream we said we'd do, I'm working on the slideshow for that. I'm up to Fnaf 4. You kind of look like John Fnaf if he had longer hair. I can kind of see it. I can kind of see it. Kind of. I don't think it would help if I took the hat off. Because, like... No, John Fnaf has, like, more straight hair up there. Whoops. Yeah, so I'm working on stuff for the channel. It's coming. It's coming. I'm glad we got this stream done today. Obviously don't expect to stream tomorrow. It's Christmas, so... Yeah. Kind of surprised I did this one. And I'm surprised that you guys showed up. Thank you, of course. Thank you, guys. I don't really have anything else to say. If you celebrate Christmas or whatever you celebrate, have a Merry Christmas or whatever you celebrate. Happy holidays. Yeah. Also, I want to show you guys this. I'm wearing the Bite Victim shirt today. Bite Victim if he was a security guard. Yes, sir. Yeah. I whenever I wear this shirt, I always make the joke that I'm Bite Victim. I don't know why. I have one joke and that's it. When you do your timeline stream, because I'm hyped for that. Yeah, it's going to be after we finish the theories tier list, so 3 streams from now. Hopefully. I don't know when, but 3 streams from now. Yeah, I'll definitely let you know about that. Oops. Yeah. That's about it. I'll pull up chat so you guys can say bye to yourselves. And then that'll be another stream in the books. Alright. Come on. Alright. Bye, guys. Thank you for showing up.